Okay, so now that you have been successful in creating your first score, you have several instruments that you scored in notation, and which is basically not the full song, it's just the verse and the chorus, which are the two main parts of any song. So you're going to build on this in Soundtrap. You're going to use the electric guitar and the piano, and you're going to transfer those, export that to Soundtrap, and we're going to do a few more things with it. So go to your symbol for your export in your menu, export it to Soundtrap. Now once you get it into Soundtrap, the first thing you're going to do, follow these steps. Get rid of all of these by going here and clicking delete track. The only two tracks you're going to leave intact is the grand piano and your guitar, your melody. So this is your melody, as you can see the way it goes, and these are your chord progressions. Okay, so this is what it sounds like. Now the piano is kind of loud. You can take your volume button, and when you're dragging your volume button, you just go straight down and it lowers the piano a little bit. Okay, so let's listen to it. That's a little bit better. You don't want your piano too strong over your melody. Your melody should be the strongest point right now. All right, so go ahead and set this up. Oh, one more thing, very important. Make sure that you're constantly hitting save. We'll click on save now, and make sure that it says Lean on Me with your name. Don't change the title. Leave it Lean on Me dash your name, exactly how you had it in flat. Leave it the same way in Soundtrap. And if you don't have it that way, then make sure that you change it to Lean on Me dash and in your name. And some of you that I've spoken to, make sure you're using your first and your last name. All right. In your loop, click on your loop and drag it all the way to the end. Okay, that way this will just continue to loop as you're building. All right, so the next track that you're going to create is your bass track. So you're going to add a new track. You're going to click on bass. Now you're going to play the bass part here. So let's get a real bass. This says mountaintop lead. I'm going to click in here. I'm going to click electric bass. Now you can choose a good bass. Don't get the bass kicks right now, because that's a little bit different. Just try to stay in the electric bass, and if you want to choose any different one, you can. I'm going to keep it simple, and I'm going to choose clean electric. Now you can listen to them. When you listen to them, you're not listening to them for the loop itself. You're listening to them for the sound of the bass. Okay, so some basses have a very different sound. Okay, all right, and I'm going to choose the clean electric. All right, so notice how the keyboard adjusted when I selected the bass. It moved down to the lower notes. Okay, so the three notes that you're going to be using is going to be the C, the F, and the G. Okay, those are the three notes that you're going to be using. And if you have a laptop, when you press your Z key, V as in Victor and your B as in boy key, that's what you'll hear. Okay, all right, you know that by now. Okay, so now I'm going to practice before I actually start the recording. The other thing is you want to make sure that this is red and not anything else, because as long as this is red, that means you're going to get the bass sound here. And when you press record, it will actually record the bass. Okay, but we're not going to do that right now. So you need to practice. So when let me turn this down. So when you play, this is going to continue to loop. And what you want to do is match up your C with your F and your B. It's a pattern. C, F, C, up to G, Repeat the pattern. C, F, C, up to G. Repeat the pattern. C, F, back to C. Now up to G, back to C. F, it's just a pattern. C, and D. Okay? Now, so that's the pattern from C to F to C to B, back to C. Okay? All right. So now when you do the record, I just turned my volume up. You're going to just simply click on, make sure you have a metronome on. And when you click your metronome, you can get a 1-bar count or 2-bar. 1 bar should be good enough. And you can choose whatever sound that you want to click through to keep you on beat. All right. So let's go back to the beginning and I'm going to record. Now, remember, get your fingers ready to hit your notes. Okay. And when that count off finishes counting off 1 bar, I'm going to start. Here we go. You can make it sound however you want. It doesn't have to be this plain. You can jazz it up. Okay? So you can jazz it up with those 3 notes however you want. Just make sure that you're using that pattern, but you also have to listen to the chord progressions to make sure that you're playing the chords where I'm playing the bass, the C, the F, and the G where it needs to go. You can hear it with your ear. Okay? And if you're not sure, then use your Lean On Me notation chart, the original one. Okay, and every time the chord progression changes, which you can see here, this is the first chord, this is the second chord, this is the third chord. So you're going from C to F to C to G, C to F to C to G. Notice the pattern of the chord progressions. The G is always, when you're playing G on your bass, it's always the one all the way up here and it's like kind of short, right? So use the visuals to help you, all right? And now you're going to record your drum track, okay? So let's run this back. We'll hear what it sounds like a little bit. Now, remember, if you made a mistake, one little note was off, remember, you can go into your piano roll. These are the tools and skills that you have now. You can go in your piano roll. Let's just say this note was off. Maybe you hit a different note, okay? So you can clearly hear that. All you do is go into the piano roll, drag it down, okay? So these are your 3 notes. This is your C, you see your F here, and your G. So it's in line with the piano. This is G on the piano, and then this is the G line going across in the piano roll. This is the F. These are all the Fs that you hit. This is the C here. This is all the C's that you hit, okay? So if you make a mistake, you don't have to record the whole thing all over again. Go into your piano roll and make the adjustments. Okay, now for your drum track. Let's go into the drum track and let's click on the drums. Now, I'm going to leave this up to you as far as how you want to create it. You have 2 ways. First, you are not going to use a straight loop, a loop that's already here. No, you're beyond that now. You're going to create your own rhythm, your own beat. So you can change the drum kit and use a different drum kit. Okay. I'll use Garage Kit for an example. So you already know how to go in here, how to use your kick, your snare, your hi-hat. If you want to add some more, you can. Okay. It has many more instruments available to you in here. All right. And each kit has its own set. All right. And then you know how to set your drums up. Okay. For your beats. You have your kick. All right. And then you have your hi-hat. Okay. Now remember, you can do one. Let me take that off. Whoops. Where's my undo key? When you make a mistake, always hit undo and it'll bring it back. I want this one. Okay. So remember, with the percussion, all you have to create is one loop. This is your basic backbeat. Okay. Listen to what this sounds like. Remember, hi-hat on every beat, snare on 2 and 4, and kick on every beat. So once you get your basic backbeat, use the loop tool. Loop it all the way across. Okay? Now, of course, mine's is a little on the corny side. You want yours to be a lot more, nicer, a lot more you. All right? Now, you have a beat that goes through the whole thing. Okay? So now, if you create a regular beat, of course, you can make all the changes that you need from here. Or you can go in here, use your keyboard or your fingers on your iPad and create your own beat, hitting the cymbals, do your tom-toms, your fills. There's all kinds of ways. So you already know how to use this. You can use this to record your drum track and make any corrections that you need. And again, remember, any adjustments that you want to make, you can always make them in the piano roll. Okay? So you can lay down a straight track, the regular drum beat, and then you can go back in and add another track. And now you can put some frills. You can find something a little bit different. Let's see if we can go to a kit. Okay, I'm going to choose, I kind of like the Latin kit a lot because you have a lot of hand drums. So this is what I mean. I'm going to leave, because we don't need a kick. We already got a kick, right? So, all right, it's not showing me my external. Oh, here we go. No, it's not showing me. All right. So if I go in here in the instrument here, it's not showing me these in the patterns, but I can put some congas in there, for example, all right, which will give it a nice background sound. So I'm just going to do a little bit. Again, make sure the record is on. So I need to hit the 7 and the H. And I'm going to record a little bit. Okay, I'm going to stop it. Okay. So now, I just recorded a little bit. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down all the way here. And now I'm going to just loop what I have. So I don't have to do the whole thing, right? So now I'm going to bring my drums down just a little bit, make them a little bit softer. And I'm going to make my congas a little louder. All right. We'll balance it out. And then let's see what this sounds like. So now I think I want to quantize. Remember the quantizing? Let's go in there and I'm going to quantize it into 1/16. All right. Now the beats are lined up a lot better. Okay. So you can build your drum track through more than one track by adding little pieces here. You can add some bells, some snaps, hand claps, some sound effects. All right, so you're gonna make this song your own. All right, and when you are ready, we're gonna move all of this over, and then you're gonna create your own intro and your own outro. Okay, all right, get started. Just work with the bass right here. Just do this part, solidify this, what you have, okay, and then we'll take it to the next step. Have fun.